What's going on, guys? Evil Dragon here, back with another video. Today we are starting a brand new Fallout 4 challenge. And that challenge is, can I beat Fallout 4 by using only the laser musket, I guess slash muskets, because we'll use multiple. The first challenge we did was we did the Brotherhood of Steel route with only unarmed weapons, so like, you know, the Power Fist, the Deathclaw Gauntlet, Boxing Gloves, that sort of thing. And I chose the Brotherhood of Steel because they were my favorite line. The second challenge pretty much was not using regular bullets, so I could use cryo cells, I could use flame refuel, I could use fusion cores, but not like 5mm shotgun shells or fusion cells because how common they are. And I chose the Railroad because they have the Railway Rifle, which is actually a really good gun. Now this time, I wanted to do the Minutemen pathway, and so I chose their most unique weapon, which is the laser musket. Pretty much all the Minutemen use it. And it is actually a pretty good weapon. If you upgrade it as it goes along, it becomes very, very good late game. At least I would say good. I mean, yeah, you can have your miniguns or whatever, but I mean, this is just a solid weapon that if you put the right perks into it, and again, the right upgrades and mods, it can just do a lot of damage. There are multiple variations. There's a mod to put on like a little shotgun spread. You can put on a sniper scope. Heck, you even get an automatic one from Sturgis, who's the Proctor Ingram or the Tinker Tom of the Minutemen. So, without further ado, let's see if I can beat Fallout 4 using only the laser muskets. So of course we start off by greeting the dude who's going to go ahead and let me pick my name and my skills. So I of course named myself Dragon, and I already knew the build I was going with. A lot of agility and a lot of intelligence, some strength, and a tiny bit of perception for the perks. That's about it. That'll bite me in the butt later. But then we, run into the vault because nuclear bombs are dropping, we get put on ice, and we see our wife get killed, as well as Sean getting kidnapped by Kellogg. I then actually changed the rule, where in the past I've ran away from stuff not using my fists, but honestly in this, I think I'm going to make a new rule where I can just use my fists until I get the weapons I need because of how long it takes. We talk to Codsworth, he sends us off, we get this little book that we put a final point into agility because we needed 8 points, and that's the extra one we could get. I then, of course, meet our trusty companion Dogmeat, who's going to be my companion, as always. I then take him back and do the glitch, which is still one of the greatest glitches I've ever seen in a game, where he breaks through a master lock and steals the item where I can sell the cryo later. I put a perk right into Rifleman, because the laser musket's a rifle. I then go on to Concord to join up with the Minutemen. After all, that's the faction line I'm going with. And man, agility, I forgot how many AP points it gives you to just absolutely use VATS to crazy. VATS was a savior in this game. I might not be doing a VATS only, but it was still good. Preston takes out the last guy. I grab my first laser musket, put another perk, one into gun nut this time to mod my weapons, and I move in. Slowly taking out the raiders as I go up, until eventually I come across the last few here, where I then go and talk to Preston and I meet the Minutemen. They tell me put on some power armor and go defeat the raiders outside. I say sure. I start taking them out from the top. You know, it does take 2 hits, but whatever. I take them down the street, and that's when I realized I had no ammo left after I took out all the raiders on the inside and outside of the museum there. I resorted to just butt-stalking the Deathclaw, but this was going to take way too long. So I reloaded an old save and redid everything over again. This time by going through the museum and just butt-stalking everybody to save ammo, at least as much ammo as I could. Eventually I had enough ammo to just go ahead and take on the Deathclaw. Now I did end up having to butt-stalk it towards the end because I did run out of ammo again. And that's a common theme throughout this, you'll see. But yeah, I eventually took him down where I meet Preston Garvey of the Minutemen, the new leader. And he asked me to join, and I say sure, I'll join. After that, I'm looking at perks, and I look at the perk Commando, and I hesitate on it, but pass up, because there is an automatic laser musket, but that's at the end of the game, so I don't actually look at that perk, and I don't look at it again for the rest of the playthrough.
That's Spider-Man?
I then make it to Diamond City, where Piper, goes on a tirade and whatever. She lets me in. My friend said Spider-Man, because it turns out that's the Spider-Man voice actor. I'm not sure which one, but he is a voice actor for Spider-Man. I then go into Diamond City, start buying supplies and whatnot to, upgrade my weapons. In the meantime, I was like, okay, I'll try and take on Swan. You all saw how little damage I did, so I'm not going to do that. I then go away to save Valentine in the Park Street station, where this is where the problem came with my perks. I have 1 perk of endurance, meaning I am a absolute glass cannon. I can do so much damage with this laser musket, especially with, more cranks and more charges. But I die so quickly and constantly in here. And with the little, very little ammo I have, I leave because I'm getting killed all the time. So I instead decide to do some Minutemen quests from Preston after all, because I'll need these later on. I do some of these, and then I meet Paladin Dance of the Brotherhood of Steel. Why do I meet him? Well, I want to do his quest because of this, only this mission. I pretty much sacrifice Dance and kill all the synths instantly with this. The reason why? Synths usually carry laser weapons from the Institute, which have fusion cells, the ammo I need, and a lot of ammo. So I go ahead and just loot them all, and I get like 200 or 300 fusion cells from this little conglomerate there. I then decide to try once again to go ahead and save Nick Valentine in the subway station. And it goes a lot better. Now that I've upgraded this thing to have 4 cranks, I can do more damage, I have more perks that do more damage, and I just have like 200 fusion cells. I can just absolutely save ammo. I then wanted to see how much damage I could do to this guy. So the 2.0 times from the sneak damage, a critical hit, and max cranks absolutely eviscerate him. I then find Nick Valentine, and we decide to make our way out of here as I save. I still nearly die many times. Like, look at this. This guy's barely alive. I'm using VATS to save myself, but I almost die. I then head on out. I then do a mission for the Minutemen really quick before heading back to Preston, where he promotes me to General right away. I mean, he's the only Minuteman left, like, does it make sense? But sure, why not? I skipped over the part, but we looked over the evidence with Nick, and we decided it was Kellogg was the guy who took my son. So, I head over there, taking out a Yaogwai super easily. I mean, they're usually really tough. But, I mean, with another point into semi-automatic rifles, a 4 crank, it was nothing. Again, on my way, I almost die again, but I take down all the synths, and then I make it to Kellogg. Do a critical strike on his face, and he doesn't die. I guess that's what happens when you go up against the boss. I mean, yeah, they're going to be pretty tough. And this fight was actually probably the toughest fight I've had. The junk jet, while weaker than the laser musket, I actually had endurance, so I could actually take hits. Here I'm constantly having to heal, and this is when I learned that if you over-heal yourself, like a bunch of food and attacks at once, you can out-heal the damage that you're being done to you while you're still taking damage. If that makes sense. Eventually, I take down Kellogg. I found a glitch also that if you're in VATS while cranking the laser musket, it just kicks you out of VATS, which can be deadly if you're really low in health like I was. But I take down Kellogg, grab the parts, and of course the Brotherhood shows up in the Pridwin. You'll find out what we do to them later. We discuss with Nick and Piper that we need to go to the memory den to, find out what happened to Sean, use the brain piece, where we find that, they use teleportation in the Institute to get in and out. So we're set off to go find Virgil, who is someone Kellogg was going to go hunt down to see if we can make our own teleporter or whatnot. Well, then randomly, as I'm heading out there in my power armor, because of the radiation and the glowing sea, I come across a Deathclaw. I take it down, but it was definitely a really high level. That's why there's the skull icon there. And man, without this power armor, I would have died. Like, it just jumped me out of nowhere. Eventually, I make it to the glowing sea. I head on into the cave where Virgil's at, and he's a super mutant. Okay, but we make a deal. He'll help me get into the Institute if I go ahead and get him the serum. And also, he tells me to go take down a courser because that's what we need. Sure. I go on and I make my way all the way through the gunner place. Fighting this missile launcher girl where I just miss point blank range, sure, to the head. Eventually, I make it all the way up, and I find the courser. The dog meat, of course, helps me hold him down. Otherwise, I don't think I would have won. Now, usually, by the way, I don't wear power armor, but I forgot to take it off here. I still haven't taken it off. That's why I had it on during that tower. Whatever. I need the courser chip. I head over to the railroad for them to access it and get me the code. With the code, I head back over to Virgil, and he says this.
Those kooks, I would have expected they'd be too busy trying to liberate vending machines or setting computer terminals free or... So,
yeah, he's pretty critical of the railroad because he was in the Institute. It's kind of funny.
What a mess.
Absolutely hilarious what he says. Vending machines, sure. But I give these plans to Sturgis to start making this teleporter. In the meantime, he'll send me out to get all the materials that I need, of course, the usual thing. And eventually, we get the teleporter done, hooked up, all that, and I head out there. I meet Father, who's really Sean, the leader of the Institute. But of course, we'll be back to end his reign of terror later on. I go back to Sturgis, give him the holotape that we got to, infiltrate with all their plans. I continue doing Minutemen quests, where I found this really cool one, where I almost died by a bunch of ghouls. But because of grenades, and again, by the way, I ran out of ammo here. grenades let me win, but the problem with fusion cells is how expensive they are and how hard it is to come across caps when I'm also trying to buy the best armor and tools and junk to upgrade my weapons. It's hard. But yeah, I ran out of ammo here, so that's why I'm butt-stocking these ghouls. Eventually, I can complete more quests, getting myself a complete set of power armor, raider power armor, sorry, in the meantime. Cool. This allows me now to get access, though, to a main Minutemen quest, which is take back the castle. It's been taken over by Mirelurks, okay? Little bugs that are mutated into being big bugs. Of course, I take them all out to reveal the boss, which is a Mirelurk queen. That was tough to fight, but we took it down and we reclaimed the castle. I then did a mission with an old Minutemen member who left and now returned, named Ronnie Shaw, who led us to the artillery blueprints. Now, more on these later, as these will be important at the end of the video. I then go ahead and go right back to where Paladin dances, and I shoot the one Brotherhood of Steel member in the face. Reason why is because I need them to be enemies for, again, a future mission. I then do some more missions for the Minutemen, including this one where a school was giving away weird pink goo that turned all the students and whatnot into ghouls that are one-shot. Very strange. I then actually get back from this quest, and I start building artillery all around a bunch of different settlements. I'll explain that towards the end, but there's a reason why I need to build at least 5 on a bunch of different settlements. One needs to be at least at the castle. Here, I then also need the Institute to be mad at me, so I save after this Institute lady was very nice to me. But I don't want to be employed by you anymore. I shot her in the head, and I got the Institute all mad at me, which was the whole goal anyways. I then have to go ahead and defend against the Institute as they're retaliating against us, the Minutemen. It was a very hard fight as they, they're engaging in combat at the castle, but eventually, after deaths and whatnot, as I said, this was really hard. I ran out of ammo 3 times and had to restart. I eventually took them all down. I mean, they send coursers after you. They send legendary Institute synths. They send regular synths. They send synths with incendiary rifles. It's absolutely crazy. As they tuck their tail and run, it's time for the nuclear option. We get this mission from Preston Garvey to go take down the Institute. I then had a side quest pop up when I went to Diamond City. Turns out Mayor McDonough's a synth. I don't know why this popped up, but sure, I'd go ahead and take the mayor of Diamond City out, whatever. I then head underwater, as this is the Minutemen's quest to get inside the Institute. You have to head underwater. I then die while in the sewers to get back into the Institute. That sucks. But eventually I teleport, the Minutemen into the Institute here. I then go ahead and start looking around, taking down a bunch of synths because I need a way to get to Father. After taking out all the synths, Sturgis opens the way up for me to get to Father, where he's dying. And I pass a speech check. He gives me the password to, free his people, as we know, we're the Minutemen. We don't kill people. And actually get away and go ahead and, get the code to get to the nuclear reactor area. I then buff myself up full of chems, full of Rad-X, and what do? Do I fight my way through to get to the nuclear reactor? No, because of all the legendary stuff. I just plant the bomb and immediately book it away. I have a single shot thing that takes forever to reload, even with the fast hands perk. I'm not getting that, and eventually I teleport my way out. And as usual, as I press this button to blow the absolute heck out of the Institute, that answers the question, can you beat Fallout 4 using only laser muskets? Yes, you can. And so as it fades with this explosion, we completed the challenge. It took me about 15 hours. Not too bad. But wait, what the heck is this?
I think it's time to deal with the Brotherhood.
I agree. But it's gonna be tough to fight their airship.
That's for sure. But I think I may have a way to take it out. I've been talking to Sturgis about using an artillery strike against the Bridwin. The trick is, we need to target it from multiple directions to overwhelm their defenses. Sturgis figures that we already have enough artillery to do the job. So we're ready to strike whenever you give the word.
So pretty much, as I had mentioned already, I had to do a bunch of Minutemen quests to actually unlock their main quest. Like, you have to help settlements, and then you get the defend the castle quest, or you take back the castle quest. You get those kind of things. In the process, you get the artillery schematic, where, you get to do a artillery strike. You get to practice with it. I didn't think it was really important to mention, except until now, because what I did was I went around and built 4 more artillery cannons on different settlements, because you need 5 total to actually unlock this mission, and then you can take down the Brotherhood. It is not part of the main quest, but I thought I'd include it here right at the end, because it was still super fun, and it's basically the final Minutemen main quest.
I've been tinkering with this laser musket. I made a few custom modifications to it that I think you might like. Here, take it for a test drive.
Now, I completely forgot that actually when you beat the game on the Minutemen's quest line, you get a automatic laser musket. Because I never put any skills into the automatic commando perk, which really sucked because I had it unlocked, I just didn't put any points into it, which really sucked because it would have been really cool to use it on this final mission. Because of how weak it was, I just used the regular laser musket. But that's fine, whatever, we'll continue on. As they say, you strike at the crack of dawn. So I woke up at 7 a.m. in game, went ahead to upgrade my automatic laser musket one final time. Was I going to use it? No, because of how weak it was, but I still wanted to upgrade it. I then hopped into my Raider power armor, as it actually was better than the original starting power armor when I first met the Minutemen, and I told the strike unit to fire. The artillery that was so important, they fire on the Prydwen. I needed 5 as we want to hit them at different angles. So from all across the Commonwealth, they strike. The Minutemen strike against the Brotherhood of Steel, and we take down the Prydwen. It absolutely goes and blows up in 3, 2, 1. There you go. It starts to sink, and it's honestly one of the coolest missions, but also apparently one of the hardest missions in the game afterwards, because now I have to take on the Brotherhood of Steel. Or at least the remnants, as a bunch of vertebrates fly in from the remnants of the Prydwen, and they're full of Brotherhood knights who have power armor upon power armor. This is one of the hardest missions, supposedly, because of how many knights there are with all their power armor, and they do so much damage. I ran out of ammo several times. I ended up doing 2 quests, and then reloading the save here after I had more ammo. I had 500 fusion cells I started off with. I ended with about 100, as you can see. It took me that long to get through, but eventually, as I took down a legendary knight in power armor, I looked down here, another knight in power armor. It's absolutely crazy. They have laser weapons too. I put on my power armor because, again, I technically did beat the challenge, but I did want to do this mission for you guys. So I take down the remnants of the Brotherhood of Steel, and we completed the final Minutemen quest. I then went ahead, for one more time, repaired my power armor, as my friend made a good point to me. And in the other playthrough challenges, I took on Swan, so why not try and take down Swan again? I upgraded my laser musket to give it 6 cranks, which is the maximum amount of cranks you can give it, which pretty much allows me to one-shot even super mutants at this point, which is absolutely absurd. With the 6th crank, I move in. I tried to summon an artillery strike on Swan, but I guess it wasn't in range, so I start laying in damage. Was he tough? Heck yeah, he was tough, but not for me, considering I can keep at a distance and do massive damage, and with his swing of the hammer, he does like 10% of my health. I barely need to heal, especially with Psycho and a bunch of stuff on. But I eventually took down Swan. I hope you guys did enjoy this playthrough challenge. I don't know what I'm going to do for my next Fallout 4 challenge, but I'll get there when I get there. Hope you guys did enjoy nonetheless. Maybe leave a like, maybe leave a nice comment down below, maybe hit that subscribe button, ding that little bell, and remember, can you beat Fallout 4 with only laser muskets? Yes, you can. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.